Have you ever felt that strange sensation in a church? That feeling when something just isn't right? When the sacred becomes sinister? I've collected 3 disturbing true stories from people who experience genuine horror in places meant for worship. What you're about to hear might make you think twice about staying late after service. I grew up in a small town in rural Pennsylvania where our church was the center of community life. When I was 16, I volunteered to help with the annual Christmas pageant, which meant staying late after youth group meetings to work on props and decorations. One Wednesday night in November, I was alone in the church basement finishing up some painting. Our youth pastor, Pastor Mike, had left about an hour earlier, telling me to lock up when I was done. The basement was this massive open space with a small kitchenette, some storage rooms, and a hallway leading to the boiler room. I remember checking my phone around 9:30 p.m., thinking I should probably wrap things up. That's when I first heard it. Footsteps from the floor above me, slow, deliberate steps moving across the sanctuary. At first, I assumed Pastor Mike had come back to check on me. I called out, "I'm still down here." Almost done. But there was no response, just those steady footsteps continuing to pace above me. I tried to ignore it, focusing on finishing the backdrop I was painting, but then the footsteps stopped directly above where I was working. I heard what sounded like someone dragging something heavy across the floor. "Hello?" I called again, louder this time. "Is someone there?" The dragging sound stopped immediately. Complete silence followed for maybe 30 seconds. Then the basement door at the top of the stairs creaked open. My heart practically stopped. I was suddenly very aware of how alone I was. The church was on the outskirts of town, surrounded by woods on 3 sides. The nearest house was at least half a mile away. I heard slow footsteps descending the stairs. Each step made the old wooden staircase groan. I quickly turned off the basement lights and ducked behind a stack of folding tables, pulling out my phone. No signal. The basement walls were too thick. The footsteps reached the bottom of the stairs. In the darkness, I could make out a tall figure standing there, completely motionless. It was too dark to see any features, just a silhouette. "I know you're down here," a voice said. It was deep, raspy, and definitely not Pastor Mike's. "I've been watching you for weeks." I was frozen with fear, trying not to even breathe. The figure took a step forward, and I noticed something reflecting in what little light came through the basement windows, something metallic in his hand. "This is God's house," the voice continued, "but you're not one of his children, are you?" I don't know what gave me the courage, but I suddenly bolted from my hiding spot, running for the emergency exit on the far side of the basement. I could hear him behind me, his footsteps quickening. I slammed into the emergency exit bar, but it didn't budge. For a horrifying moment, I thought it was locked, but then I remembered. Pastor Mike had mentioned the door was sticking lately. I threw my full weight against it just as I felt fingers brush against my back. The door burst open and I ran into the night, not stopping until I reached the main road where, thankfully, a car was passing by. The elderly couple inside took one look at my terrified face and let me in, driving me straight to the police station. When the police searched the church, they found no one there, but they did find something disturbing. All the phone lines had been cut, and a hunting knife was lying on the basement floor near where I'd been hiding. The most chilling part came 2 weeks later. Police arrested a man who'd been squatting in the church attic. He wasn't a member of our congregation. In fact, no one recognized him. They found a makeshift bed up there, along with newspaper clippings about our church events and several photos of me and other youth group members that he'd taken through windows. I never stayed late at church again. To this day, I can't walk into a church basement without feeling that same terror wash over me.
I hope you enjoyed the first story. I do all of the editing and creation solo, and I'd love to hear your feedback regarding this video. If you made it this far, I assume you enjoyed it. Please give the like button a fat slap in the face so I can continue making content such as this. The next 2 stories are coming very soon. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed it here with me in the Shinigami realm.